going on right now with our Federal Reserve note?
What is going on right now is that paper currency never works. It always crashes. And we are just at the moment that we have the time to convert that to treasury dollars. And this is exactly what Ronald Reagan was trying to do when he did a study, and he found out that 100% of our income taxes are leaving the country and going to the bankers.
Sorry to interject, you might be wondering who this woman, Karen Hudez, is. I know this is a TikTok, so I fact-checked this for you. Karen Hudez did used to work for the World Bank in 2007. The World Bank made this formal announcement. Sorry, you can't see it on the screen right now. She hasn't worked there since 2007, and they basically, in nice terms, tell her to be quiet. So we'll continue on here, but make sure you like the video, subscribe with notifications on, and comment anything in the YouTube comments below. We give away $10 of XRP every day on this channel. The winner is in the video description below.
That's what John F. Kennedy was doing. And John F. Kennedy, he had accessed the wealth of the world and the gold that we're supposed to have. The Federal Reserve does not have the gold that the United States is supposed to have backing its dollar. That gold is there, but it's not going to be backing the Federal Reserve note. And so we have got to transition very quickly to the real currency in the United States. And Ronald Reagan printed that currency. It's there waiting for us. And we just simply have to exchange it, very simply. And we will not have any economic dislocation. Otherwise, you better believe this country is not going to have any more military might. If we stay with the Federal Reserve note, we will have lost our standing completely. As it is right now, the Federal Reserve note is no longer what's called international reserve currency. That means that the countries are using other currency in their international trade. The BRICS countries, Brazil, Russia, India, China, and South Africa, that's 25% of trade. They're not using the dollars with their own trade. And 133 developing countries, that's the group of 77, they've announced that they're not going to be using dollars in their international trade. Now, one of the things, getting back to what I was doing at Yale Law School, between my junior and senior year, I wrote a paper on how that coalition of the developing countries, called the G77, was developing. I went to the UN between my junior and senior year at Yale, and I wrote a 200-page paper on that. I think that was also one of the reasons I was brought to the World Bank by Ibrahim Shihada. He was an Egyptian lawyer who had been the general counsel of OPEC. That's the Organization of Petroleum Exporting Countries. And he might have realized that I was somebody who was very interested in the real mission of the World Bank. Now, the World Bank has been hijacked. It's been hijacked by a group that is called the Network of Global Corporate Control. It is a group that was studied by 3 mathematicians at the Federal Institute of Technology, and they found out that this group controls 40% of the assets of the 43,000 companies on the capital markets. And what it does is it takes the same directors and puts them on interlocking boards. So they have 10 times their economic might. And they didn't think anybody was going to find out about them, but we did. And this group has come into the World Bank, and it's also come into the United States, and it's done something called state capture. It is buying off the politicians. What they do is they print dollars, and they spend them to buy the politicians. They get to keep the difference between the amount that it costs to print the dollars and the face amount of the dollar. And then, to add insult to injury, they charge us interest on country debt. That's called usury. That means that people are working 3 months out of the year to pay the bankers on a scam. They have no right to keep that seniorage, and any president that tried to end that scam, that's what happened to Abraham Lincoln. That's why he was shot. So any president...
So she's dropping a lot of knowledge bombs there. I hope you guys enjoyed that. This next clip comes from the Davos conference. Really quickly though, the monthly XRP price update from Dark Defender you guys use Twitter, give me a follow on Twitter. My link is in the video description below, Drippy XRP. We have this wedge here. Typically, these break out 2/3 of the way through the wedge. And so the point he's saying that we would explode at is the 31st of March, okay? But we're right now at that 2/3 of the way through, so we're hoping for a bounce here. But he's looking at $3.50 up to $25 XRP. That'd be pretty crazy. So in this clip, it's the Hutchins Center of Fiscal and Monetary Policy. I looked these guys up, and look who's on the advisory council. Harvard co-chair, Professor of International Economics, CEO of BlackRock, Lawrence Fink, the largest hedge fund in the world, $10 trillion in assets under management. That's why they call him the fourth branch of the GOVT. Very powerful people, CFO of Google. So this isn't just any organization. This is a very reputable think tank, and they craft the policy. And a Ripple employee comes up and asks this question. Basically, how do we balance policing all these new use cases? Very interesting clip.
Hi, my name is Ryan Zagone. I'm from a company called Ripple. We use blockchain and virtual currency as a way to connect fiat currency more efficiently. It's a product for financial institutions. So it's an enterprise use case. We're using digital currency as an FX tool as opposed to a currency itself. As new enterprise use cases for DLT and digital currency emerge, how do we balance policy to allow these new use cases to take root while also capturing risk we see in the market today?
That's a great question. Who wants to take a bite of that? Go ahead.
I think there are certain principles that need to be upheld when doing regulation. Is that the same risk, same treatment? We have to really slice down what you're trying to do with technology and identify what is the underlying financial transaction you want to do. And if there is already a regulatory treatment, it has to be the same. Just because it's done differently through technology, that, at least from my own point of view, does not justify to give it preferential or adversarial treatment. I think it has to be a level playing field, and we as regulators, we have to be, as we say, technology neutral.
Neutral, okay.
No, it's sort of like saying that, okay, if you look like a bank, if you smell like a bank, if you walk like a bank, then you're a bank, regardless of what you.
So I hope you enjoyed that clip. They say a level playing field, but they know there's only one blockchain company that for the past 10 years has been infiltrating and making relationships with these big financial players, these central banks, commercial banks, and these global regulators, and that is Ripple. Hope you guys enjoyed this video, and if you need a place to buy XRP, Uphold is the best exchange. Link is also in the video description below. God bless you guys. Until next time.